and gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet. This is Sports Unfolded, covering all of the top sports stories going on in the world today. James, thanks for joining us already. I am your host, Eric, with my main man right over there. Ron, how are you tonight?
I'm ready to go.
Ready and raring. I mean, it's going to be a fun show. I think it's going to be a really fun show. Not only because we're on it, but I mean, this pick and roll, the starting five. I mean, these were some really thoughtful,
dandies,
right? You have to think about it. So we've got a lot to cover. If you are joining us live tonight and you'd like to chime in, let us know what you want to talk about. As long as it's not politics or religion, we are glad to bring it up. It doesn't necessarily have to be about sports. You want to talk about the weather here in New England, we'll do that as well. You can buy me a coffee at any point in time during the show as well and help support our show. And if you'd like to be a sponsor, you'd be right above my head here. Ron will tell you how to do that towards the end of the show. But so many different ways you can help support Sports Unfolded. Continue to follow us. You'll see a ticker running shortly on the bottom of the screen. It'll tell you all the different ways you can follow us. But Ron, we are going to start off with our lead-off story, my friend. And we decided, listen, next week we're going to be talking Super Bowl because obviously we still got another week to go before the big matchup. So we just wanted to talk about the AFC and NFC championship games, what went wrong with the Ravens and the Lions, and what we felt were the reasons why they are not in the Super Bowl next Sunday. If you don't mind, I'd like to start with the Baltimore.
No, that's exactly a good place to start.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to put something out there. And this here's my first Christmas card lost today in today's show. Lamar Jackson is not elite. I'm going to come out and say it now. Lamar Jackson, I don't care. The Ravens can sit back. Total eclipse of the heart. You could sit back and you can tell the kid is a talent. He is. I'm not going to take anything away from Lamar Jackson and his talent. He is a unique quarterback. Kenny, thanks for joining. But I will say this, Ron, he doesn't have that clutch gene. He doesn't step up in the big moments. He does not make the plays in crucial situations that gets his team to a championship. They had one of the best defenses all year, one of the best offenses all year, and you cannot tell me watching that game that you felt that way.
No, it was quite the opposite. It's funny because, we always made fun of like Joe Flacco and some of these other quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls. But, they just do the little things that gets them to where they need to be, right? And, when there's a big play to be made, say what you want about Joe Flacco, he got it done in the big moments. It was nothing flashy or anything like that. But when you needed a third down, he gave it to you. And, needed a first down, sorry. But I don't know if it was all the pressure he put on probably himself. He made it too much about what he needed to do rather than just do what you normally do.
Yeah, my problem is this, though. Again, at some point, you got to step up, make a play. And Patrick Mahomes in that game,
right?
As much as I continue to doubt him, I picked the Buffalo Bills against them. I picked the Ravens against them.
Yeah.
And he makes plays when he needs to. And yet in the fourth quarter.
We were talking about that last week, Eric.
Right? The fourth quarter
scares you more, right? Well, Kansas City because of Patrick Mahomes.
Experience, right? And then I sit back and I looked at the fourth quarter play where basically we thought they were going to run and then, punt the ball back. And no, he throws that deep ball to Scantling and ends the game. And I don't see Lamar Jackson making those type of plays. I don't see him making crucial plays at crucial moments. And unfortunately, listen, this team's going to consistently be a number 1, number 2 seed for probably the 5-10 years that he's with the Baltimore Ravens. I just don't think he can get them to a championship because of that clutch gene that I don't think he has. I don't think he has it. Mahomes is legit. I don't give him credit enough.
Oh, absolutely. He scares me.
Mahomes the new Brady.
Yeah.
There were so many times that people said this team with the Patriots, he's not going to win. They weren't very good. And somehow he found a way to win. Mahomes is doing the same thing.
Yeah, he's finding a way.
Right?
And he clearly doesn't have the skill around him like he has in the past. You know, we saw that last year. He didn't have it there. You have Travis Kelce. That's what you got. You know, and an offensive line. And for a quarterback that good, which I would say like Brady, when you have an offensive line protecting that quarterback, that particular quarterback, they're going to tear you apart. Simple as that.
How many times on a third down you see him just make the right decision to either run and pick up the first down or pass in the right spot? Listen,
and it's also the vision too, because they go to the line, they see the defense, they change the play, and not many quarterbacks can change the play to the right play.
Yeah, teams do find ways, James. And I would say this. Think about this part of it. And when I'm saying Lamar Jackson is not elite, if you flip-flop those two teams, two quarterbacks on those teams in that championship game, do you think the Ravens win?
Ravens go easily.
Right? And that's where I said, I think that we've got to really start to consider Lamar Jackson's a very good quarterback. And I'm not taking that away because people are going to say, I did it. I said he's not elite. I would not put him in that category of, holy cow, a Brady, a Manning, guys that have won Super Bowls, found ways to win in crucial moments. He's not that. He's a good quarterback. And I think we need to accept that. Let's talk about these Lions, though, too, Ron, because here's another Christmas card I want to lose. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Dan Campbell is a moron. He's a moron. You can sit back and tell me how, wow, look at this guy, goes for it more than any coach in history since he's been in the league on 4th downs and all the things they've done. You had 3 points in the bank. You had all the momentum in your favor, and you decide to go for it on a 4th, get stopped, and change the entire complexity of the game.
I thought I was watching the Atlanta Falcons.
Right, yeah, the 28-3 back in the Super Bowl. Like, it was just the dumbest decision.
Like, that was their game.
Take the points. You would have put even more pressure on the 49ers at that point to say, holy cow, because they weren't doing anything right. No, you just decided to say, hey, look, we can stop them. And then they came down, they scored a touchdown. Next thing you know, Detroit couldn't do anything right. Dan Campbell should have been, honestly, I don't know who lets him make that decision, but I would have said absolutely not.
Yeah. No, it was an asinine play. You take the points, you know, I mean, like you said, it puts the pressure on them. But not only that, it just makes the task even greater. So now they got to take more chances with more points against them, you know?
Right. They had rattled Brock Purdy. They had, complete control of that offense where the defense was unable to stop them. And then you gave it to them. And James just said it, right? They were trying to put a dagger in the slice of cake when they should have used a fork. I love that. Right. I think that's the perfect way to do it. He got greedy. No. He got greedy. And you listen, regular season game, I don't care. NFC championship game to go to the Super Bowl for the first time in your organization's history. You don't make that decision. You don't make that decision, right? Absolutely.
If you're in the lead, you always take the points. Always. I mean, that's to me the golden rule, right? You're in the lead, you take the points, you put pressure on the other team. That's it.
And that's a
game that they let slip away because of pure stupidity.
Yeah. I will say this. I'll give Kenny much credit for this. Jared Goff, I would take over Lamar Jackson right now in a big moment. Jared Goff looked like a legitimate quarterback, like a guy that could win. He didn't lose that game. He did not lose that game.
No.
And to me, he made plays for his team. His coach let him down. his coach made a decision that ultimately cost that team. And I commend Dan Campbell, the great job you did. When you get to those moments, you don't make that decision. You just don't. And now the Detroit Lions have to wait another year and say, oh, well, maybe next year's our year. Listen, this was your year. You had it. It was done. It was in the bag.
Everything was falling into place.
I was like, they're winning this game. And then you decide to make a decision. And I don't get it. I really don't. I'm so disappointed in the way they handled that situation. And honestly, at that point, they don't deserve to be there because of that reason.
No.
Next week, obviously, we'll talk Super Bowl plus Saturday, 7 p.m. Tune in. You will see our Super Bowl preview show. We'll break down all the teams, coaches, defenses, offenses. We got a lot of fun we're going to have. That'll be at 7 p.m. on February 10th. That's this Saturday, next Saturday night. So tune in for that.
And we'll have Kenny and James.
Kenny and James on. Goff is night and day from when he was in LA. Yeah, listen, they've done a great job with him. Great job. And you think about this with Detroit. The one benefit is neither one of those coordinators are going anywhere. Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, both staying. They didn't get jobs. We're going to talk about the coaches that did get jobs, though, later on in the show. But, right, so, again, they might be able to carry this on, but I think they had a great opportunity this year. This was the year to me.
Yeah,
everything fell into place.
Tougher because when you think about it, a lot of coaching changes, and especially in that NFC, you're going to have, a couple of teams in there that are going to have definitely a new look. You're going to have some new quarterbacks, running some of those teams out there. There's going to be a lot of differences out there, especially in that division of, the Detroit Lions, Green Bay, Chicago Bears are going to look different. Minnesota.
Green Bay, the Packers, look, Jordan Love.
Yeah.
He took a giant leap this season.
Because for all the things that have happened in his career, Love is like a rookie this year. I mean, he's learned a lot, and you can tell he's learned a lot throughout the time being a backup. And I think he's going to grow even more next season. And I would be worried about that team.
Yeah, it's gonna be a much harder road next season. All right, my friend, great leadoff story. I mean, we're already fired up, losing Christmas cards. I love it. But let's talk some NFL, my friend, and we're going to talk about the New England Patriots. So they've made a offensive coordinator hiring. Alex Van Pelt is now the new offensive coordinator of the New England Patriots. Ron, do you like the signing? And if you say you do, I'm getting off the stage right now. I'm done. Okay? I'm telling you now.
Well, there's two ways of looking at it. There is looking at it from the point of view, I'm surprised they didn't go with somebody like Julian Edelman, like we joked about. So that would not have been a surprise. But it's better than what they had, in there for interviews. Like nobody was experienced when they had the interviews.
Ron,
and I don't understand why they didn't bring in experienced coaches.
Thank you. They interviewed 12 guys for the offensive coordinator position.
Yeah.
He was the last one.
Yeah.
Ron, yeah. I'm going to ask you this question. How many – he's better than Matty. I don't think he is. Because I'm going to tell you this. How many offensive games has he called, Alex Van Pelt? That would be zero. Same amount as Matt Patricia.
He wasn't calling the plays.
No. So same as Matt Patricia. So we're sitting back, and you could sit back and say, Matt Patricia, I don't want Josh McDaniels back, but I would have rather seen that where at least I know it's a guy that knows how to call an offense.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Browns had the 12th best offense in the league last year. And you look at it, the quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson didn't look very good this season. P.J. Walker, Dorian Robinson, Jeff Driscoll, and Joe Flacco, who pooped himself in the playoffs. Like, this is a coach. That's your coaches now. And now this kid's going to teach who? Oh, we might keep Mac Jones. This is the guy you want teaching Mac Jones? After the 5 names I just forget it. What are they thinking? I don't
know what they're
understand it.
thinking.
And it's not like this guy's they had an elaborate offense in Cleveland. They run the ball, they throw play action. Hey, you know who did that? Oh, the New England Patriots. They ran the same damn offense. They didn't change anything again. Here we go, doing the same thing. You just got a different cast of characters. They aren't thinking. They're not thinking, James.
And this is the problem. Like look, like I said, the proper way of doing things, they should have gotten a GM right away.
Agreed.
And then you build from there. You build a proper team. This is patchwork. This is you wanting Gerard Mayo to be your head coach. So you're just piecing things together, thinking that a guy with no experience is going to get the job done.
They've got no coaches on this staff now that were actual coordinators.
No.
Like, I don't get it. I don't know what they're trying to do, what they're trying to piece together. And to your point, you don't even from a draft standpoint, what is Alex Van Pelt like? Now you got to find a GM that's going to find his style versus a GM bringing the players in, and you find coaches that fit that style. It's all broken. It's backwards. It's the cart before the horse. Asinine the way they've this whole offseason.
And like I said, when it all went down, right? When Gerard Mayo was named, right? I said, I don't mind if he's the head coach as long as it's done the right way, right? I mean, it has to get done the way it should. Like you're taking a page out of Jerry and you're not even getting it close.
And this is where you're right. You know what's happening right now? This is proving that Robert Kraft ran this organization. And we can blame Bill Belichick and we can say all things about Belichick. He had final say. Robert Kraft, these are the guys he wants. Yeah. So you sit back and now all you're looking at is saying, look at how dysfunctional it was.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. That's something that I don't think Patriot fans are ready to see. You know, because we're so used to everything being stable until the last couple of years where the wheels completely fell off. I mean, we didn't have players, you know, saying anything, doing anything. Everything was tight-lipped. You know, everything was by the book, by the Belichick book.
Winning cures everything. That's the difference. Right. When you're not winning, you start to see the cracks in the foundation, and that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing a coach that you already predetermined was going to be your head coach, so you had no out. So when Mike Vrabel became available, sorry, we already had made an agreement, so that was a mistake.
Yeah.
And then you sit back now and you say, okay, we want to change some things, and then you get the same kind of system coordinators that you had before.
Well, to put things even worse, suppose Gerard Mayo was a white coach.
I don't think we got it, but go ahead.
No, but if that was the case, it was already predetermined, so they could have seen very bad repercussions from something like that. They could have lost draft picks because it was already planned ahead of time, right?
I think if they backed out of it would have looked worse.
Well, yeah, that would be really worse,
right? Because now you're sitting back and going, okay,
there's no way around it.
Again, dysfunction. Yeah. And I think this is why you saw Bill wanting to have control, because he says he saw what was the writing on the wall if he didn't. So, all right, it's going to be another long season next year. Cannot wait. Ron, let's move on, because I mean, right now, listen, New England, I love you.
I can't wait for that pick and roll.
You're on here. You see all this, right? I love you. I don't love the direction of this team right now. I am so sorry. I don't care. I've been a fan for a very, very long time, and this is probably one of the worst I've ever seen this. And I lived through the 1-15
Yes.
season. Okay. All right, my friend. We're going to talk some starting five. This was a good one.
5, 4, 3,
starting 5 tonight. Major League Baseball All-Star MVPs. They had to have at least won one MVP in an All-Star game, and we've got to give you our starting 5 from that. And there are some phenomenal players. At one point, we made a joke today. We could have had a starting 25 because that's how many solid guys there were and guys I left off. Ron, you are first tonight. I can't wait. Listen, your honorable mention probably could be a starting 5 as well because I'm sure mine could.
Yes, and I'm actually surprised that I have somebody on my starting 5 because at the beginning, I like to test myself, and I penciled this player in at number 2.
Wow. And now he's honorable mention. All right. Let's hear it. I can't wait. What do you got? Who's your honorable mention?
So starting at the bottom of my honorable mentions, I went with Dave Parker. I couldn't believe
I had him on there and I
numbers.
took him off. I took him off my honorable mention because that's how many guys there were.
Yeah.
But he had some good numbers, Dave Parker.
He had some great numbers, including a couple of batting titles.
Yes. No, agreed. Dave Parker.
And 2 World Series.
Yeah. Yes.
I also have on my honorable mention Cal Ripken Jr.
I have Cal Ripken Jr. on my honorable mention as well.
You know, one-time World Series champion.
The Iron Man.
The Iron Man himself.
Jeez, you'll never see that again in baseball or any sport.
Nope. Also on my honorable mention, I have Ichiro.
Not on my honorable mention.
I had him there. I looked at his numbers, and I can only imagine if he would have played a full career in Major League Baseball. Whoo! Those numbers would have been incredible.
Okay.
Also, I have Juan Marichal on my honorable mention.
Took him off because I had to put some other guys in.
And last but not least, who I thought was going to be my number 2, Ken Griffey Jr.
On my honorable mention, believe it or not.
I cannot believe it. I can't believe it.
Ron, listen to my honorable mentions right now because I don't get what I'm doing because I still think I'm looking at these names and go, what am I doing?
I know.
And we'll go from the bottom like you
did. Some of them off the honorable mention.
Yeah, exactly. And I went Mike Trout. Listen, very good numbers for his career, but again, not enough body of work. So Mike Trout, not a big deal. Don Sutton, very good pitcher, left off. Joe Morgan did not make my list.
Didn't even make my honorable mention.
Brooks Robinson.
Oh, he's fantastic too.
Phenomenal. Mike Piazza.
Yeah.
Look at his numbers, man. Very good for a catcher. Kirby Puckett. Kyle Yastrzemski. His numbers are phenomenal. They really are very good.
Yeah.
Numbers. Pedro Martinez did not make my list.
Well, I left off that guy.
I know what you did, and I'm not leaving him off. And then this one hurt a lot, and I debated. Frank Robinson did not make my list. Was not in my starting 5.
I know.
Crazy. It's insane. All right, my friend. I got to hear these. I'm so excited. Number 5, Ron. You got who do you got?
All right. So I have Carl Yastrzemski. Look, he was close, but I couldn't put him higher. I mean, his numbers are fantastic. Look, the only guy on the list with a Triple Crown as a hitter. I mean, those numbers are just ridiculous if I can find some of them. First of all, 3,419 hits. That is second best. So, I mean, second best in hits. And then you throw in 452 home runs to go on top of that. And I know his average was 285, but a lot of that average dropping was later in his career when he was hobbled by injuries.
You got to count it.
I know, but that's what dropped him to number 5. To be honest with you, I almost put him number 3. And then I just decided it's like no, because there was one thing that was glaring. That stellar career didn't result in any World Series. But the 18 All-Stars, 3-time batting champion, the Triple Crown. I mean, those numbers are just stellar. And I can't believe he actually had 168 stolen bases.
Listen, great numbers. And I told you it was hard to keep him out. Like
7 gold gloves, too, by the way.
Yeah, very good. Very good. I went at 5. I went Ichiro. And I love that. The highest average out of all these guys that we had, 311.
Yeah.
3,089 hits. He did win an MVP, 10-time All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove, 3 Silver Sluggers, 2 batting titles, the Rookie of the Year, and obviously the All-Star MVP. And I love the fact of it to bat 311, and that's 3,000 hits, over 3,000 hits. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and it's funny, too, because, like, when I was trying to figure out who that number 5 guy was going to be, it was between Yaz, Griffey Jr., and Ichiro. And I looked at it and I'm like, well, neither of them have, the World Series. So basically, it really came down to those 3 batting titles that Yaz had versus the 2 that Ichiro had and the Triple Crown. That's what it came down to, those 3 guys.
I hear you. This wasn't easy.
No, 4. It was difficult.
Who do you got it for?
Number 4, Mariano Rivera.
Ooh.
I have him at number 4, and I know, like, it went against everything I had as a human to put a Yankee there.
One of the best. Oh, it's one of the best. You can't.
He is one of the best. Look at those save numbers. 652 saves. That means 652 times this guy came in, slammed the door shut.
How many closers do you know have 1,173 strikeouts? Like, that's pretty impressive.
That's what I was looking at. I was looking at those numbers, and I'm like, wait a minute. This man has 1,200 less innings pitched than Juan Marichal. But those strikeouts are really close. And it's like, how is he's that good. He's that good.
One of the best.
And an awesome human.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's,
I give you that.
As a Red Sox fan, when you can respect a guy like that on the opposite team, like the Red Sox finally got him to him when he was 40?
Yeah, it took a while.
Like, that was it. It was basically Poppy that had his number. That's it. Other than that, the rest of the league sucked against him.
Yeah, no, agreed. All right, at 4, I went Roger Clemens, and I know you weren't going to put him on your list. I knew you weren't. But 354 wins, a 3.12 ERA, 4,672 strikeouts, Ron. Insane.
It is insane.
He had an MVP.
You're never going to see that again.
MVP, 7-time Cy Young, 7. That's crazy. 2 Triple Crowns. So not only did it once, did it twice.
Yeah.
11 All-Stars, 7-time ERA champ. That's crazy to think about in today's era of pitching.
Yeah.
He had a 2-time champion, Major League Baseball Player of the Year, and an All-Star MVP, obviously. So I know you were going to keep him up, but I don't agree with that whole piece that you don't. So I put him in at 4. He would be on my team.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3.
Number 3, I have yet another Yankee. This is a sad day for me.
This is blasphemy because they should be higher. But go ahead.
Higher?
Yes, but go ahead.
I couldn't put him higher.
So you got the captain. You got the captain at
Derek
3.
Jeter. Oh my God! The only thing that I could say. How is that boo? How is that boo? He's number 3 on this list.
Go ahead. What do you got? Go ahead. Talk to me.
Look, the only thing, like, he only had 260 home runs. And I know that's not the type of player he is, right? But what this guy brought to the table, it goes beyond the numbers. 3,465 hits, the most on the list. And with a 310 batting average, there
Mhm.
was no slacking. 1,900 runs scored, 1,300 RBI. Not bad for a guy that basically led off or was second in the lineup his whole career.
Mhm.
You know, I think later on in the career, he went to number 3 because they didn't have as much pop in the lineup at the time. But, you know, um, I mean, this guy was phenomenal. 358 stolen bases, 14 All Stars, 5 Gold Gloves, and I think he got robbed there. To be honest with you, 5 Silver Sluggers. I mean, a World Series MVP doesn't hurt either,
Mhm.
but those 5 World Series titles.
Mhm. Phenomenal.
That's a leader right there.
Yeah.
That's a leader. And
This is why I'm upset you put him at
outside of 1 and
MVP.
2, I mean, I couldn't put him any
Okay.
higher.
I got to
couldn't
see
do
who
it.
these 1 and 2 are after, but I went 3 Mariano Rivera. And for all those reasons, and not only, yes, 5-time champion, Ron, he was a World Series MVP. How many times do you see that from a reliever?
Yeah. Oh, I know. I
Right?
know.
Like, that's how good he was.
Yeah.
Like, he shut down an entire team in the
If
World
I'm not
Series.
mistaken, I thought he played in 6 of those games in the World Series.
He,
Oh, 5 of those games, sorry.
I think he did. I think he pitched in all of them. But that's
Yeah, no,
crazy to think about.
I
So,
I just
a
remember him
reliever to
being in
be
there almost every game.
a reliever to be an MVP in the World Series. You don't see that too often. All right, what do you got at 2? I gotta hear. I gotta see
Number
these.
2, I have Pedro Martinez. Um, you know, and if I counted Clemens, he probably would have been in that spot, and then everybody else would have been knocked down. But I have Pedro there. He's a dominant pitcher.
He was. If you look at the numbers, him and Roger aren't even close. And I
No,
get it. I get why you do it, but I'm just saying that's why.
yeah,
And now I understand why you got where you got. Because
yeah,
otherwise,
no. I
I don't
mean,
think it would have
I
been
just
there.
I have Clemens as an omission, and there's no,
I think
there's
we got to
no.
start doing these, and you got to do like asterisk, like Roger Clemens at 2, but asterisk. So then at least you'll feel better about it. But you
All right,
can't
you
tell
want me
me.
to do that from now on?
I'm just saying you can't tell me 4,672
I
strikeouts.
just said
Pedro's very good,
I
but I
would
think
have Roger
yeah, I
here
know. What has Roger got? 150 more wins.
a lot. Yeah,
Like,
no,
you know what I mean? I don't know,
he's
but go ahead.
he's he's one from
It's
the.
still in the record books, but go ahead. Pedro.
He's one of those guys that have the old stats, right? That just pitched like all game every week,
All right. I'll give it. Okay. All right. All right. Pedro at 2.
and you needed some help on recovering.
All right. I went Jeter at 2.
Yeah,
And
and I
again,
get it.
310, 34. I know it sounds like I'm a homer, but I'm just saying
No,
3,400 hits and batting 310 blows my mind. Because it wasn't like, oh, you
no,
got
because Eric, I am not questioning that because I had a tough time where to put Jeter. I didn't know if I was going to put him above or below Pedro, and I settled on I think the pitcher is more important, so I went boom.
yeah. All right.
That's
All right.
that.
So
Because
I
I
think we're
think
gonna
Jeter is a hell of a player, and I
I'm
wish we
almost
had.
positive we're gonna have the same number 1 here, but go ahead.
It's not even close. It's not even close. This was a shoe-in for me because I think this man is probably the best player that's ever played, and it's Willie Mays.
Agreed. Number
Like,
1.
I'm
Right?
looking
Oh
at
my
these
goodness.
numbers. These numbers are ridiculous. They're ridiculous. And back in that time, they didn't have all these like silver sluggers and all that. He would have won
Oh,
them all.
oh yeah.
He would have won them all.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, 24 All-Stars. 24.
Yeah.
That's
12
insane.
Gold Gloves.
Right? I mean, 3,293 hits, still batted over 300, 301,
And
and
you
still hit
gotta,
660 home runs, Ron.
yeah, and you gotta think that the time period he was playing in, the pressure that he was facing, death threats, everything, right? Hit 301 with 660 home runs. How many power hitters could do that? Not
Dude,
many.
not many. So it was great. No, that was a great list, great players. I mean, it's so much fun. Because again, listen, we pretty much had the same. I had Ichiro in, you had Pedro in. Other than that, the players would have been the same. So
Yeah, we had the same core group that
yeah.
was up there.
So
And we recognized all
And you
the
got
great players.
1962, first All-Star MVP was named Maury Wills of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So since
You forgot
1962,
the American League and National League both had one, and Maury Wills is a name. The other guy was just like, I don't know, random. I can't remember. It was like Longmire or something
oh
like
wow,
that, but it wasn't Longmire. But
good times, Ron. We're gonna talk some NBA though. I mean, that was a fun one. I like
that
that
was
kind of
good. It
fun.
was hard, let me tell you.
Yeah.
That was a hard one to do.
So NBA, we got a couple of different things going on here. Obviously, trade happened. Steven Adams or Jason Momoa, I mean, whoever you want. I mean, Aquaman there has been traded to the Houston Rockets. Tell me that doesn't look like he looks just like Jason Momoa. I was like, I'm looking at them like, holy cow! And he's got the sleeve, the tattoo. I don't know.
So he kind of looks like this guy Chris that works down at Seed Cafe that I visit and get my hot chocolate from. He looks
See,
just
there you
like him.
go. Right? I don't know. Does this move help the Rockets?
Well, yes.
It can't because Ron, I didn't realize until I started researching this story. He's out for the entire season.
Is he really?
Yeah, he hasn't played this year. He had a right knee surgery and is out for the season.
Why?
I'm like, I write the story down.
I was gonna say he's pretty good on the boards.
He'll help him next season. I mean, and I think he'll add an ounce of toughness to them. But I'm surprised they made this move. They were only a spot out. They were only a spot out of the playoffs. The Rockets.
Well, that just tells me they don't want to be in the playoffs this year,
right? Like you pick up a guy that's not even playing.
So this it brings a whole new topic of the conversation. So they are tanking on purpose. Like you like that, right?
That was pretty good. No, I don't think they're tanking. I just think I think for them, if they make it, great. If they don't, I mean, the Grizzlies, I think, are tanking. No John Morant for the rest of the season, right? You weren't getting Adams back anyway. You freed up some salary cap. You got 3 draft picks out of this. Maybe they're going to try to, get a top 2-3 pick in next year's draft and, be back to relevance. But I think that's
the
where
GM for Houston should be fired. In other words,
I'm surprised. I wouldn't make this move if you're trying to make the playoffs. That I agree with.
Because if you're giving up 3 draft picks for him,
they're second rounders. It doesn't really matter. How many times the second rounder even work out now? The NBA is actually talking about going to 2 days and doing the second round so people actually watch it because usually after the first round, everybody shuts it off anyway. So I don't
watch it anyway.
Huh? I've never watched the second round. The going joke was that Jokic, when he got drafted, it was actually a Burger King commercial or something going on at the time. It's like, next up, right? Drafted, and there was a picture of a Burger King, like the burger. Like it wasn't even Jokic because he was a second round pick. So they don't really pay attention. So we'll move on to the next story because that might be a little more relevant. That's Joel Embiid. This knee injury now starting to, they're not 100% sure what's wrong. It's taking some time. They're getting reevaluated. How's this affect the 76ers season?
Well, it ends it.
Right? Pretty much, I would think.
If it's a major problem, it ends it.
35.
Now I looked at the what happened. It looked like he hyperextended his knee because it kind of like he kind of rolled on him.
Dr. Ron here. Dr. Ron, people.
It kind of like bent back a slight bit.
Dr. Ron's in the house.
Slight bit. Well, I can kind of relate to this because I've had knee injuries before, and when the cartilage in that knee goes, it's over, right? I'd be concerned if I was Philadelphia on this because it could develop into a serious problem even down the line.
But how much can Maxey carry the team, Kenny? Because that would be my concern as well. So since Joel Embiid has been in the league, the Sixers are 72 and 89 when he doesn't play. That's 17 games under 500.
Yeah.
If they got to go a stretch now, and my concern, look, Kenny doesn't want to give any respect to Milwaukee, but Milwaukee's second in the East. You got the Knicks in Cleveland that have played very well, that have kind of moved up. Philly could drop very fast if Joel
Yeah.
Embiid's out.
And it depends on who they're playing too, right? I mean, if they're playing, a killer schedule now, that could really affect them down the line. And like I said, this injury, depending on how it goes, I mean, if there's cartilage damage,
I would say this too, Ron. Think about, he was probably going to get back-to-back MVPs. And that's probably out the window too because of the 65 game rule. So that hurts him from a financial standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Knicks 9 straight. Look, I'm telling you, give some respect to the Knicks, Kenny. They're going to be on the list next week. It's going to happen. The Knicks going to be on the list next week.
Yeah, we're still wondering why Minnesota isn't.
Can't get Minnesota, Milwaukee. Can't get Milwaukee on the list either. I don't know what's going on with Kenny. But again, do you agree with that 65 game?
Yeah. Oh,
rule?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Halliburton came out. Halliburton came out. He's a little upset about it because he actually had a legitimate injury. Do you think there should be like some kind of, if it's an injury versus sitting? No,
you got to.
I'm just asking you. You don't need to
gotta be in there. Look, like these basketball players are a bunch of whining babies. They really are. They're whining babies. And I'm telling you, it's getting really annoying. Like basketball is becoming a pansy sport. It's like they take games off. Nobody takes games off. Nobody takes games off. You think Larry and Magic and Michael said, "Hey, we're gonna take a day off. Well, let's go camping this weekend."
I got a back-to-back. You went too far around. I'm just saying. Look at those. Look at the guys before, and I still blame Coach Popovich for this because he's the one that started all this with the Spurs. Like at one point, I think they said all 5 starters for a game because they were just rest.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Look, you're playing basketball. You're not playing football 3 games a week. You're not playing hockey 3 games a week. And those guys want to be in there every game. What is wrong with basketball players? They seem like baseball players too. Now, I get a blister. I'm on the DL for 60 days. Give me a break. Give me a break.
I can't. Ron. All right. We're going to talk some Major League Baseball. Trade here. Corbin Burns been traded to the Baltimore Orioles. Are they the front runners now for the American League?
No.
Really?
No.
They won over 100 games, Ron.
Yeah, I know
they
did.
A legitimate starter now in the lineup.
Yes.
Over 200 Ks. The guy's a Cy Young winner, an ERA winner, right? 3-time All-Star.
I mean, from where they were last year, you would think, yes, they are the front runner. But you know what?
I'm not going to take thanks for joining.
What Tampa Bay does for granted. I'm not gonna rule out the Yankees organization by no means. And
the Yankees are trash.
A pretty damn good team over there.
Yankees are trash. Baltimore was the king of the East to begin with, and now you add a legitimate starter to their rotation.
Yes,
and
they're gonna be vying for the playoffs again. But I'm not ready to hand them another AL East title.
Listen, he comes in second best ERA on the team at 3.39. Yes. Kyle Bradish, 2.83 last season, 12-7. He's the only starter that had a low one. Everybody else is over 4.
Yes.
So again, I think that gives them, you give this guy's your ace. Kyle Bradish is your number 2, which is now a very solid number 2. That's a very good 1-2 punch.
It is.
I think that
they're
changes.
They're going to be in the mix. I'm not just going to hand it to them because a lot of players have achieved higher than expected, right? So we don't know if they come back down to earth. We don't know. I'm saying they're going to be in the mix because of the pitching.
Yeah,
but we don't know. We don't know what
They
the
got a
Yankees
taste
are
of
going
it.
to pull
They got a
off, what
taste of it,
the
my
Blue
friend.
Jays are going to pull off.
You got to taste. They got a taste of it. I'm telling you, they're gonna like it. They're gonna. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I think you got a fan there.
Yes. How you doing, Flocks?
All right,
Thanks
my
for being
friend.
here.
Some good baseball talk, but we're gonna go on to our split decision.
Oh, I'm loving this one.
It's time.
And again, if you want to be a sponsor on our show, we'll let you know afterwards. But your name could be up there right now as we speak. All right, Ron, you are first. Give me my first split decision.
Oh, you're going to love this, Eric. You are going to love this one. All right, Eric.
I'm ready.
You're the San Francisco 49ers GM.
Okay. I'm Lynch. John Lynch.
All of your quarterbacks were in a car on the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they get into an accident and they're all injured.
Okay.
And this is the day of the Super Bowl.
Day of the Super Bowl.
The league is saying, you know what? We feel bad. You can bring 2 quarterbacks in.
Okay. First off, why are they in a car, not on the team bus? But okay, got
No,
it.
it doesn't matter.
All right.
Doesn't matter. So you
This
can
is my
bring
first problem.
You can bring these 2 quarterbacks in to play on your team. Who do you start?
Okay.
So who is more likely to start? Joe Montana or Steve Young of the San Francisco 49ers?
You're saying both at the same age and okay, not now. Not like currently, like Joe Montana today. Okay. I'm going Joe Montana. Steve Young only won 1 Super Bowl. It shows 3, but he was a backup. He never played.
Yeah.
I'm going Joe Montana. I would go Montana all day,
Okay.
every day. But I would also fire whoever my travel coordinator is because they should be on a team bus. Do not put all your quarterbacks in a car, all your eggs in a basket. What are we doing? Joe Montana, thank you. James is putting Joe Montana. He's got like
Joe Montana?
He's got a little, yeah, I like it.
Joe Montana.
He got that little bit of going. All right, Ron, my first split decision. What's more likely? The Boston Celtics hold on to the number 1 seed in the East. They're currently 4.5 games up for the 1 seed in the East. Or the Golden State Warriors make the playoffs, currently 12th, 1 game back of 10th to get in.
I say the Celtics hold on.
Yes, let's go C's to losing the playoffs. Joe Mazzulla. There we go.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think they're going to relieve that. I don't think they're going to give up that number 1 spot. I mean, I'm not saying there's not going to be some blemishes along the way.
Like losing to the Lakers without LeBron James and Anthony Davis yesterday. Let's get started on that one. Holy Toledo. Jeez. I was like, are you kidding me?
It was awful, wasn't it?
Are you kidding me? Oh, all right. What's your second split decision? But Celtics.
All right. You're going to love
agrees.
this, Eric.
James
You're going to love this.
All right.
Now, we've already covered San Francisco, right?
Yep.
So, Eric, you're now the Kansas City Chiefs GM.
All right. I don't know who that was.
All of your linebackers was in a car.
A travel agent that plans these things that my team don't have a bus.
And they got injured in an accident.
Okay. I feel like this is the same question, but go ahead. Who might start?
The league said, all right, we feel bad, so you get to bring in these 3 guys.
All right. 3 guys. Okay.
Who is more likely to win MVP? Willie Lanier, Derek Thomas, or Derek Johnson?
Ooh. Oh, this is Groundhog Day. Yes, it is. See, there you go. Sorry, I'm seeing my shadow right now. I'm going. Derek Thomas was just a beast to me. I loved him. I mean, he was by far, like, if Lawrence Taylor wasn't in the league, you would have Priest Holmes. Let's bring everybody. Let's bring all the old Chiefs. Joe Montana played Chiefs too. We could have put Joe Montana in that question.
Yeah, but not as a linebacker.
But I would go Derek Thomas. I loved him.
Yeah.
He was such a good player. And he was great on Tecmo.
You like those?
Tecmo. No, I don't like the fact that I got a travel agent that I absolutely want to fire already. I want to fire him.
Hey, you should have brought him to Kansas City with you.
Yeah, my first role as GM on both of those teams is I'm flying the travel coordinator. Done. You're fired. Can you get my team a bus? That's all I wanted, a bus. I didn't want anything else. Grab me a bus. John Madden. All right. Ron, my second split decision. What's more likely? Which team makes it to the World Series this season? The Baltimore Orioles or the Los Angeles Dodgers? And remember, the Dodgers choke every single year.
Makes it to the World Series.
Makes it to the World Series.
See, that's the key word.
Dodgers have not made it, though. Think about it. Once in the last, whatever, X amount of years. They blow it every year. James thinks the Dodgers.
Here's the issue with this, okay? You think Baltimore's main competition is going to be Houston?
All right. How about this, though? All the Dodgers players are in a car.
They're all in a car crash.
They're all in a car crash.
Well, for that matter, then they'd make it.
All right.
Because all the stars are gone. I'm gonna say Baltimore.
See, I think they're more likely to get there, right?
More likely,
less pressure,
because they really only have Houston to go through. Okay, and the Dodgers, they still have some teams out there. You still have to worry about Atlanta, Philly. You know, I would say the Mets, but not the Mets.
Too soon, Ron. Too soon. Too soon. All right, that was split decisions though. That was a fun one.
That was good one. That was good one. Baltimore,
note to all new GMs coming onto these coaching staffs: hire yourself a good travel coordinator, because that's going to be key to anything you do. Right off the bat.
That was fantastic.
Right off the bat. All right, my friend, we're going to talk some NHL, and it's the midway point of the season. Right, All-Star game coming up. They had their draft. They did some stuff, right? Kind of fun. But Ron, what's been some of the biggest surprises for you so far at this point in the season?
Okay, Eric, I of course did not disappoint you.
You never do, Ron. Right? You never do. You never do.
Look, I have three categories: the good,
the bad, and the ugly.
Bad, and of course the ugly.
All right.
So let's start off with the good.
All right.
I have Winnipeg up there. This is a team that could have caved after last season, you know, making the trades and then just completely falling flat, right? They came back this year. They really have played incredible. All right. They've had a great season. One of the best teams in the league right now. So I put them there. And I put Boston there. Not because I didn't think they were going to do well.
I didn't think they'd be this good. And I
didn't think they'd be this good.
Yeah. I did not think, listen, 9 losses on the season.
You lost Bergeron, Krejci, Hall, Orlov, Bertuzzi.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't expect that. A lot of people didn't even have them making the playoffs. I did, but...
Yeah, but I didn't think they'd be...
Nobody thought this.
They'd be in the mix is what we thought. We didn't think they'd... No, and I agree. I had Boston as my surprise for the East to be where they are right now. I also had the Canucks. Canucks lead in the Pacific.
Yes, they do. And I didn't think they'd be that good, but I knew they'd be pretty good.
But I didn't expect, especially with Vegas. They're ahead of Vegas now.
Yeah.
So, you know, you think about that. But go ahead. What else you got?
All right. For individual players, I have Sam Reinhart of Florida Panthers. 37 goals. This guy is just lighting it up. He's a plus 13, also with 25 assists. He is playing fantastic. That is why Florida is having so much success.
Right, second. I'm right behind Boston.
And then Jonathan Quick of the Rangers.
Yeah, I saw
Did
that.
we all not feel that his career was done? He is playing so well. 2.43, 10 and 4, 911 save percentage. Fantastic. And then last but not least,
Leach. Brian Leach.
Thatcher Demko of Vancouver, their goaltender, 2.44, 26 wins and 8 losses, a 912 save percentage. Fantastic. Those are the good.
All right. I got one more.
There's a lot more guys.
Yeah, I got one more. Connor Bedard. And really, when you come in with that much pressure as the number 1 pick and what people expected, he's leading rookies in goals. He's leading rookies in points. Granted, it's not phenomenal, right? He's a minus 22.
Oh, 22, whatever
yeah,
the hell it
22.
was.
But still, the fact that, you know what I mean? He's there to score. He's there to create some offense. I'm sure they'll build a team around him. But I thought that was pretty impressive because there was a lot of pressure when he came in.
Right, and that's just it. He's handling it. He's doing well. You know, I don't know. I don't put him up. You know, in
I would say this, Ron. If he no, but I would say this: if he gets 60+ points this season in his rookie campaign, that's probably over expectation for him this year,
especially for that team. That team is not good.
Yeah, right. So that was one of my goods. But go ahead. Now you got the ugly.
No, that's good. That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Got the ugly.
So bad.
Oh, that's bad. And then the ugly. Yes.
I have the Washington Capitals. They're not having a great year. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. Like,
I got ugly for that.
Their record is okay.
Yeah, but I got ugly for that. And you know why? Alex Ovechkin, 9 goals. 9 goals. He's not going to make it to Gretzky.
He's
coming. Had it. He had it in the bag. We were like, it's a done deal.
Yeah.
38 years old, 9 goals. He's trending for 17. He's not going to get Gretzky. He's not going to make it. He's going to fall short.
So
go ahead.
Columbus.
Yeah, another one that disappointed.
That's pretty bad. Like, I didn't think they'd be like world beaters, but these guys have come back and probably are playing worse than last year.
Yeah, and we thought they were going to be pretty good last year. They picked up some good players.
Yeah. I mean, they should be good, but they are not. They are pathetic. That talent is not. They need to blow up the team. They need to blow it up. And now for the ugly. And you had mentioned one, Alex Ovechkin, 9 goals, 22 assists. But it's so ugly that he's a minus 17. He is basically causing a problem. I'm not saying he is the problem, but everybody is now just trying to pass to him so he can score. That's what they're doing. And it's such bad team play that they can't even get out of their own way. And they're falling further and further away. Yeah, this team is done. It is over. Ovechkin, like you said, 17 goals at best. At best. He is not catching Gretzky because he's only got another couple of years after this year, and he's not going to get it done.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
He's looking old right now.
It's kind of crazy.
Two more guys.
Go ahead.
2 more. First, Thomas Hertl, 15 goals, 19 assists, minus 26, the worst in the league.
You think he would he could just jump over it?
All that fanciness is panning out to be nothing.
Nothing on that one? A little hurdle?
Yeah. Yeah.
A little. Okay.
Well, I didn't jump at the opportunity.
Ah, there it is. Thank you. My goodness. If Thomas Hertl was in a car with God.
And the last but not least, here's the most disturbing of all.
Uh-oh.
The New Jersey Devils, remember last season?
Phenomenal last season.
Right.
One of the best teams in the league.
They let Tatar go, which was a big part. We kept mentioning him last season, that experience brought to the table, right?
It goes so much better with fish and chips. I'm just saying.
Yeah. That's good.
Hey, I'm trying here, buddy.
You pulled out the fish card.
Hey.
Well, they let him go. They brought in Timo Meyer, right?
Yep.
Big signing. $8.8 million a year for however long. I think it was 8
Eternity.
years.
8 years. Yeah, I think it was an 8-year deal.
9 goals, 9 assists, a minus 23.
Wow.
He has absolutely stunk it up. Absolutely stunk it up. And he should be embarrassed because he took the money and he's not doing a damn thing for that team. He's the big reason why they're losing like that because he's not producing or even trying. He's not even putting an effort in his own end. Nothing.
Wow.
Big ugly for him.
Big ugly. I like it. The big ugly. Sports Unfolded. We got the big dog and now the big ugly. All right, Ron, it is time for pick and roll.
It's time for pick and roll.
And tonight's pick and roll, we are going to decide who of the coaching hires has the best opportunity to be successful next season. And that would be Jim Harbaugh, obviously to the Chargers, Mike McDonald to Seattle, Raheem Morris to Atlanta, Brian Callahan to Tennessee, Gerard Mayo to New England, Dave Canales to Carolina, Dan Quinn to Washington, and Antonio Pierce to the Vegas Raiders. We're going to rank them from 8 to 1, Ron. Obviously, there's not a lot of stats involved in this. It's more about a personal opinion, but how do you have this ranked? Where do you think each guy is going to be, and number one being the most successful?
Yeah, I didn't think it would happen this way, but I'm looking at this list and what they've got, and I'm a little concerned, Eric. Because I have Gerard Mayo in New England at number 8.
Wow. Okay. Uh-oh.
And I was thinking about this. I don't think they're ready. I don't think this new regime is ready for what they have. Do they even have a defensive coordinator yet?
Yeah, they hired a kid too. I don't remember.
Exactly. So, there is one thing that we will miss is that Belichick defense, right? And if you don't have that Belichick defense, you're in major trouble if you have no offense. And I am not sold that Alex Van Pelt is going to get it done. I'm a little concerned this year. And I have them square at the bottom at number 8. Number 7, not that far ahead, is Brian Callahan and the Tennessee Titans. I don't think you have a quarterback anywhere near capable of carrying a team. And again, you just lost Vrabel and his defensive abilities, and I think they're going to be hurting there as well. And I have them at number 7. Number 6, I have Las Vegas and Antonio Pierce. I just think this team is a mess. And I'm not sure that they can even get anything going on this team because I think there's too many egos, too many people chirping, and I don't think they're going to be happy with anybody that comes in there. I think you need to blow it up and get all new players. So, but they have skill that they can actually get some wins when they want to play. Number 5, I have Carolina, Dave Canales. Is that what I would pronounce his name?
Yeah.
Canales.
Canales.
Look, I have them there. I mean, they have some pieces. I think he can do some things, but he's new. I don't know how good he's going to be. And, I don't want to give him too much credit, and I don't want to give him too little, but I think that's about where they'll make an improvement, but it's hard not to improve over what they had.
Mm-hmm. Agree there.
Number 4, I have Atlanta Falcons and Morris. What is it? Raheem Morris?
Raheem
Morris. I forget the A. That's probably. I'm like,
right.
I know his name.
Reem is like a water heater company But it's close. I mean,
they have some skill. I mean, I don't know about their quarterback situation. But they could probably fix that because we know that the Patriots are going to screw up and they'll be able to slide right in there and take a quarterback. Number 3, I have Washington and Dan Quinn. Look, he's just going to go on that defensive side of the ball and just make it good, right? That's what he's going to do. So they're going to improve just because of that. And then if they get some cohesion, on offense at all, that's bonus. So I think they're going to improve, and that division better watch out because, Dan Quinn is in your area, Dallas.
yeah, no. James seems to be happy they're gone. He's happy.
I don't know about that. But
when he disagrees with you.
Number 2, I have Mike McDonald and Seattle. I just took a look at that division, and I just think that division can be had. I know San Francisco is in it, but there's no problem in getting second and getting into that wild card spot again. I think in that NFC, I think they could really do that. We don't know the situation what the Rams are going to be doing during the offseason, but they have to do some things because they can easily slide back.
How quickly we forget, but Dan Quinn chokes consistently. You know that firsthand. Kenny, you mean like Radio Raheem? LOL. So, I mean, they're coming at you right now. So we know who you picked at number 1.
Yeah, so number 1, I put the LA Chargers, Jim Harbaugh. I mean, it's hard not to improve. I mean, if they make the playoffs, that's improvement, right?
Playoffs.
And I think that's a playoff caliber roster. And I don't doubt that he can get him there, even if he cheats.
Okay. Yeah. No, he never cheats. Ron, I saw this a lot differently than you. I will say this: 1, 2, we agree. I think, but I will still go through my list. But 1, 2, we had everything else. I disagree with you. I went at 8, Dave Canales, and I'm looking at it this way. First of all, he's got to fix Bryce Young. That might be a project in itself. Secondly, no first round pick at all. So
but he is in a division that's very weak.
Agreed, but now you're not going to be able to get players in, and they're 13th in cap space. So it's not like they have a ton of money to be able to throw at players. So I feel like he's going to have some trouble getting some talent. At 7, I went Raheem Morris. 16th in cap space. They still need to get a quarterback. We talked about that. 8th pick in the draft, so they might be able to get a player out of that. But we all know that Bill Belichick interviewed twice for that position. We all know the reason why he's not there is because he wanted complete control and everybody else in the organization was fighting it. If Raheem Morris is struggling early, he's going to hear a lot about Bill Belichick. And I think that puts so much more pressure on him now to say, everybody's going to be like, they should have hired Bill. They should have hired Bill. So that's why I put him at 7. At 6, I put Dan Quinn. Yes, they got the 2nd pick in the draft. Most likely it's going to be a quarterback. Last time I checked, he's a defensive-minded coach. So that, I don't know how well that's going to work. Secondly, they got rid of a lot of pieces last season because they were trying to get some caps, not cap space, positions. They do have the most money to spend, though, in free agency. So I think that's Dan Quinn texting. Let us know that the world's falling apart. But they need a ton of pieces, and it's a tough division. You got Dallas, you got Philly.
It is. That it is.
Through that. And the Giants, listen, they can be competitive if they figure out a couple things. So I thought that was a tough one. So I got Gerard Mayo at 5. 3rd pick in the draft, but they got the 3rd most money to spend in free agency. They don't have a lot of talent, so it's going to take a lot of pieces and a lot of coaching. To me, 5 through 8, listen, I think they're all going to struggle. I don't think any of them are good. So,
absolutely.
I went 4. I went Brian Callahan. They've got the 2nd most money to spend in free agency. They got the number 7 pick. And Will Levis played okay. I'm not saying he's great, but okay, where if they get a couple more pieces around him, maybe you keep Derrick Henry, maybe you do some things on the offensive line, they might be okay. At
Yeah, but
3,
they're not going to keep Henry.
no, I don't think so either. But I'm just saying, if they did, at 3, Antonio Pierce. This team played much better for him than they ever did for Josh McDaniel. So he's already,
that's right. They did. I forgot about the run they went on.
yeah.
I
So
did.
the players rallied around him. They've got the 10th in spending from a free agency standpoint. So, and they still got one of the best wide receivers in the league, right? They still got some really good defensive guys.
Yeah.
So I could see him, at least getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, I forget about the run. I mean, with all the problems they've had, it's easy to forget stuff like that.
Yeah, listen, Josh McDaniel, that whole episode, everybody's
But
trying to forget
I
it.
got to give you that one for sure. They should be really higher on my list.
Yeah,
Probably number 3.
Yeah,
maybe.
Devontae Adams, right? You got that.
Yeah.
They got to figure out the quarterback spot.
Yeah, you're right on that one.
At 2, I had Mike McDonald. I agree with you. Solid team, right? Defensive minded. He can get in there, maybe get a couple players. Here's where they got to struggle, though. They're only $1 million. They're less than $1 million under the cap. They have no money. So they're going to have to work some contracts, maybe have to try to get some guys that are really good and trade them or move them, and that might hurt them. But if he can keep the core of that team together, and we all listen, we doubted Geno Smith. He looks better, right? You got DK Metcalf, Eric Metcalf. I'm going way back now. I'm on this Cleveland Browns, Alex Van Pelt thing.
Tecmo.
Right? So I think depending on the cap situation, I agree with you with Jim Harbaugh at 1. Here's the only problem, right? They got the quarterback, number 5 pick in the draft. You're like, wow, this looks great. $44 million over the cap right now.
Yeah.
They're going to lose somebody key
you're right.
on that team. It depends on what they lose. To me, I would almost say lose somebody on the defensive side and keep Herbert's weapons. Because I think Jim can work with the weapons and make them a really good offensive team. And you got to hope you hit on the draft at a number 5 pick defensively. If they do that, instead of going offense at 5, I really feel good about where they could go. So I agree with you, Jim Harbaugh.
You also have to worry about if Herbert can really make the decisions needed.
Yeah.
To get them
agreed.
over
Listen, we haven't seen it.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it. So yeah, you're very true in saying that, my friend. All right, Ron. It is prediction time. That was a fun one. I like that. I love pick and roll. You know that. All right, and here's the numbers, my friend. There it is. There it is. Yes. For the entire prediction segment, he has to wear that hat. I should have put more games down. I should have made this like 15 just to make you wear it for a while. Oh my goodness. That looks so good on you though. That C. It's like it's perfect. Speechless.
I was hoping it never came in.
Oh my goodness. Let's bring up that chart. And
it's not looking good already.
Yeah, you're starting off another rough week for you. I mean, it's only 4 games right now. But Kenny finally over 500, 13-12. I'm 22-11. James, right now, still in that mix. I'm at 66%. Let's see how well we hold on to that.
I want to see some new people out here.
Right. If you're joining us live right now during this segment, let us know who you pick, and we'll get you on that prediction chart for next week.
Let's go. Let's get your predictions here.
All right. Here we go. Ron,
this is embarrassing.
February 6th, you got the Milwaukee Bucks at the Phoenix Suns.
I'm sorry. I can't even think right now. This is brutal.
Hey, I had to wear Red Sox hat, man. It's not easy. It's out there now.
Making me sick.
You are gonna. This lives in infamy now. You will never get rid of this. It's out there. Kenny's got the Suns.
Oops, not the leadoff story. There we go.
Kenny went Suns.
What? I don't even remember what the thing was.
Milwaukee Bucks at the Phoenix Suns.
I'm just so distraught right now. I'm gonna go Phoenix Suns.
James went Phoenix as well. Anybody else out there? Chime in. I agree with, I think, a clean sweep there. I went Suns as well. Play better at home. Listen, Doc Rivers 0-2. 0-2.
Good.
So we said this could happen. And what do? You get the little sun out there. It's getting bright. It's getting bright out there. All right. February 7th, you got the New Orleans Pelicans at the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, hey, all right. Come on. I went Clippers here. Obviously playing really well. Play better at home. Pelicans don't travel well. I think they're a little bit
It's so
over
warm
500.
in here.
So I went Clippers.
Yeah, I went the Clippers as well. I mean, look, they're just a better team, and they're going to be at home. What could go wrong, right? Boston
every
fans.
time. Yep. I called that one last week, though. I said it. Every big game, Boston's let me down. Clippers. Is that a swan?
Why is there a swan for the Clippers?
James, please explain that one. Is that a different name for the bird? Is the bird a clipper? A pelican?
No, it's a ship.
I'm lost. All right, Ron. On February 5th, you got the Colorado Avalanche at the New York Rangers.
Ooh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Wow, that's a tough one because Colorado is playing very well. New York Rangers is not, but they have time off, right?
Yeah, the little break there.
I'm gonna say, man, I'm gonna say the Rangers.
All right, went Rangers.
I'm hoping the
James went Avalanche.
did them well.
Kenny went Rangers. I went Avalanche. Again, decent home record, and honestly, if you look at the Rangers, the last 10 games, not so hot. Colorado much better.
The All-Star break.
I know, I get
might fix that.
All right. What about on February 6th? You got the Edmonton Oilers at the Vegas Golden Knights. Edmonton has won 16 straight, Ron.
Yeah.
And I look at it this way: the break is going to kill them. I went Vegas because I feel like
Vegas as well.
Right? They're going to be thinking about it the whole time now on the break.
Yep. And that's going to be bulletin board material for Vegas, right? And you know he's a good enough coach that he can get that team fired up for this game.
James rolling snake eyes. Got a little snake eyes going there.
There we go.
And then, and listen, Vegas, very good at home. They have a very good home ice record. We're just waiting on Kenny. Kenny's got Vegas as well. We all went Vegas on that one. All right. And then on February 8th, Ron, Vancouver Canucks at your Montreal Bruins. The Boston Bruins. So Vancouver Canucks at the Boston Bruins.
Yo, you got a big mouth, you know.
Hey, yo, hey. Somebody went Moon. Is that the Canucks? Is that cheese? I don't know what that is. What are we doing, James?
You can't find anything for Canucks. Just put a Canadian flag. And a Bruin.
Boston.
Bruins are, yeah, they're Bears. I'm going Boston. I think that the break isn't going to do anything to Boston except for giving them rest. And they're not going to think too much. I think this team is too good to fall into any kind of like pit because of the break. I think this is what they needed to do to get fired up again. And I think they're going to come back and they're going to beat Vancouver in Boston.
Yeah, I like that. I like the way you said that. Brad Pitt. So Brad Marchand, no Pitt. Listen, the Bruins, I went Bruins as well. Very good at home. And I agree with you. They're one of those teams where it doesn't seem like much distracts them.
No.
So Kenny went all Bears as well. So little fun there. All right, February 3rd, Ron, tomorrow, you got the number 4 Houston Cougars at the number 8 Kansas Jayhawks. This is NCAA men's basketball top 10 matchup here. So this should be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm going Kansas. Look, I mean, Houston's the number 4 seed, but they're going to go into Kansas, and Kansas is too good to, I think the 4 spots that they're in between, I think Kansas takes this. I like their history, just playing tough games. Houston really hasn't had a whole lot of time, playing tough games like this. So I
Yeah,
think Houston takes. I mean, I think
Kansas.
Kansas takes it.
Yeah, I went Houston here. Uh, NCAA basketball. It is getting closer to March Madness. So I went Houston. A couple of top 10 matchups. They've actually performed really well in those games. They've gotten hot recently. I think they've won 5 straight. So I like them here. The Jayhawks just lost an ugly game, I think, to Iowa as well.
That's
So
more of a reason why they're
yeah,
gonna
no, I
maybe
agree
get
with
there.
you. But Kenny went Jayhawks as well, but he went Jayhawks. It's like AJ Hawks. Remember AJ Hawks played for the Green Bay Packers? Look at Jayhawks.
Yep.
All right. We also
AJ
got
Hawks is pretty nice.
February 3rd. You got the number 7 Duke Blue Devils at the number 3 North Carolina Tar Heels. Everybody knows this matchup. These two rivals, when they go at it, man, it's always one of those games.
Who's the coach for Duke? It's not K, right?
No, it's not Coach K anymore.
So I'm going with North Carolina on this one.
I went Carolina as well. I think the Tar Heels, listen, Duke didn't look good early. Then they kind of figured it out, but I don't know. This is a top 5 team in North Carolina. Just lost a bad game, right? An ugly 1-point game. And I think they're gonna be hungry to break that streak. Oh, look at the little horsey. Little Tar Heel. James went Tar Heel. A little disappointed nobody else joined us here. Got some people watching, man.
Yeah,
Watching Ron with that hat on. Kenny went Tar Heels as well. That is our prediction segment for the show, Ron. You're free to take it off, buddy, if you want. There it is. There we go. It's gone. It is gone.
It's going to be put in an incinerator.
Oh, boy. Burn that thing. Ron, it is final thoughts time. But before we go into our final thoughts, if you don't mind telling all the wonderful people out there how they can get their company right above my head where it says sponsored by. Nice hat, Ron. Kenny going at you. Look at Kenny. I'm talking a little smack. All right, Ken. All right. So how do we get sponsors to get their names and thousands of eyes on them every single week?
Yeah, Eric, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is send us an email to ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. We can send you out all the information. But really, it's just as easy as going to your local coffee establishment. Like my buddy at Seed Cafe. I'll give him a little shout out. I go there, I get an actual hot chocolate, and I get a scone or something like that. So it costs less than that. And and you can get thousands of eyes from all kinds of platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Kick, MeWe, all of them.
On everything.
Spotify.
We're on everything.
You get a lot of eyes and ears, and 10,000 plus, actually probably 11,000 plus people that you reach.
Phenomenal. And if you have time, there'll be a ticker running now to let you know all the different ways that you can follow our show. We are on every social media platform. We continue to enjoy to get more and more subscribers. So subscribe, follow, share the show. We have gotten great responses from hundreds of people on the views that we have seen coming through. So continue to help us grow. Look at all the great things we're doing. We got all these great graphics going and all this fun stuff that we want to continue to do. And over 1,000 followers on Sports Unfolded Facebook. So continue to help join there as well. TikTok, YouTube, MeWe, Twitter. We're on everything. So don't forget to check us out. And if you're in Southeast Connecticut, TV, cable channel 12, public access, we are on every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. You get a chance to watch us and you love what you're watching. Check us out live Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every week. And you can join in to our show and have great conversations with us as well. So we love talking to the fans. We love when they join us live. Ron, thank you for that. It is final thoughts time. You are first this week. So Please, sir.
Yeah, this is a tough one, Eric. I was actually going to mention Caleb Williams today, but then I saw the headlines that Carl Weathers passed away at age 76. So Apollo Creed from all the Rocky movies. He was in The Mandalorian. He was in Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Never forget that
Happy
one.
Gilmore. He was Chubbs in Happy
Yeah.
Gilmore, my favorite comedy of all time. And of course, he was in Toy Story 4. Combat Carl, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sad day because Rocky's been one of my favorite movie series of all time. I've seen them a million times, and Carl Weathers is no longer with us, and that is a big, big loss.
Yeah, I thought about this part of it. You think about the battles, Rocky 1, Rocky 2, and then the friendship that developed because of the respect that each had. And I know it's a movie, but you think about how those things happen in real life.
Like they're part of your life.
Right. And you always see these guys that in sports when they compete and somehow they admire the other guy. And I always remembered when Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes, the Bucks, and Patrick went over and said to him, "You are the GOAT." Because he just had the respect to understand, right, what it takes to get to that level. That's what Carl Weathers was for those Rocky movies. It brought it to another level. So yeah, very big loss and unfortunate. Yeah, but 76 too. Thank you, Ron, for that.
I thought it was fake news, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
I couldn't believe it.
Because somebody told me, my son told me, he's like, "Oh yeah," he goes, I said, "Where'd you see it?" And he's like, "CNN." I'm like, "Oh, it's real then." Like at that point, I know it wasn't. He was just doing that Grunt commercial too. Yeah, like it's sad. It's crazy. Thank you for that, Ron. Mine is also not a very good story. Jackie Robinson, the statue. It's in Missouri. They found the statue gone and then found burnt. And just what an evil act of hate. If you think about what Jackie Robinson meant to the sport, to society, and the barriers he broke, and to see somebody go through that and do that, I am glad that individuals are stepping up to donate. And Major League Baseball already said that they're gonna, put another statue up. But the fact that people in this country still feel like that's okay to do, it's sad. Destroying a symbol of freedom, the struggles that he had to endure to be able to even play baseball. Just a sad story. And
I mean, we talked about this with Willie Mays, right?
Yeah.
But then you take what he did. He paved the way for Willie Mays.
Yeah.
And he paved the way for Hank Aaron, who got blasted, by people because they couldn't handle, a man of color, succeeding in, Major League Baseball. And what those guys have had to endure throughout their career, and Jackie Robinson he should be a hero.
Yeah, and it's sad that somebody did that.
Somebody to do this.
I hope they get punished as much as they can.
Karma will come back and bite them in the ass.
Yes, absolutely. So, again, there's some ignorant people out in the world, and goes to prove that we're still not where we need to be as a country.
No.
Ron, I want to thank you for tonight's show. I had a blast. This was a great show.
This was a great show.
Kenny, James, thanks for joining us live. What's your friend's name there? Was
good question. Flux.
Flux, thanks for joining us live. Anyone who's joining us afterwards, please continue to share our show. Tell your friends about it. Join us live, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday night. We will be back next Friday. And don't forget, next Saturday night, February 10th, 7 p.m., our Super Bowl preview show with Kenny and James, who've been chiming in all night tonight. We're going to have such a fun show that night.
And we're closing in on 200
episodes.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy. 200 episodes of Sports Unfolded. We're everywhere. Guys, join us live every week, and we love to have fun. We want to have some fun with you. Ron, I will see you next Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Absolutely.
See all of our friends out there. James, thank you for all the kind words. And all we ever ask for every single week is peace on earth. Let's make it happen.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Good night.